Stop. Listen closely. January 3rd is not ordinary. This date carries weight, pressure, and consequence. When timing aligns, reality shifts, and God's timing never circles back for comfort. Once a window passes, it closes. I am Shi Heng Yi, and today I speak about a moment many overlook, yet later regret. This message reveals why January 3rd stands as a warning, not a suggestion. A quiet signal moves beneath the surface, and those unaware walk past it without resistance until life responds. This video uncovers how divine timing operates beyond emotion, beyond belief, beyond habit. You will learn why certain days press the spirit, why resistance increases without visible cause, and why clarity often arrives only after delay. January 3rd functions as a test of awareness, not faith. It exposes alignment. It reveals readiness. It separates those who move forward from those who repeat cycles. Stay until the end because understanding alone is insufficient. Positioning matters. Attention matters. Small internal shifts on this date influence months ahead. Missed signals rarely announce themselves as mistakes. They return later as confusion, fatigue, and blocked momentum. This teaching reveals signs most people dismiss, and truths rarely spoken openly. Nothing dramatic needs to appear on the surface for a turning point to occur. Power often moves quietly. This message brings insight, protection, and correction for those willing to listen fully. Those who remain attentive will recognize patterns from their own lives as this unfolds. Welcome to Shaolin Divine Flow, a space for discipline, awareness, and spiritual truth beyond illusion. Subscribe to the channel and walk this path with us, where timing is respected, energy is refined, and wisdom flows without noise. Listen, time is not empty. Days are not equal. Some moments carry pressure, intention, and consequence. From the beginning of creation, timing was never random. Light was separated from darkness at a precise moment. Seasons were appointed, not guessed. Movement followed order, meaning followed timing. In sacred teachings, God does not rush, and God does not delay. He arrives exactly on time. Certain dates act like doors. They respond only when alignment meets awareness. Many walk past them because they look ordinary. Yet spiritual weight does not announce itself with noise. Throughout Scripture, turning points arrive on specific days. Promises unfold at appointed hours. Warnings appear before collapse. Deliverance comes at set times. These moments are marked long before humans notice them. Timing is the language of divine intelligence. Randomness belongs to chaos, not to God. Every release, every test, every shift is positioned. Some dates pull the past to the surface. Others decide the direction of the future. The unaware feel pressure without understanding why. The aware sense urgency without fear. Spiritual timing presses the inner world first. Thoughts intensify. Emotions rise. Distractions multiply. This is not coincidence. It is the environment adjusting before movement occurs. When resistance increases, significance often stands nearby. God works through alignment, not force. He places moments in time and waits for awareness to respond. A single day can reveal obedience or delay. A quiet decision can shift months ahead. Those who respect timing move with less struggle. Those who dismiss it often repeat lessons. Awareness opens doors. Disregard extends waiting. Time itself becomes a teacher. Certain dates carry weight because God placed it there. They are not loud, they are precise. And once they pass, they do not return in the same form. Pause here. January 3rd stands like a narrow bridge between two movements. One pulls backward into repetition. The other opens forward into release. This is not a loud crossing. It is subtle, quiet, yet powerful. Old cycles do not break with drama. They dissolve through awareness. Delay often feels familiar. It disguises itself as comfort. Patterns repeat because attention remains unchanged. January 3rd exposes these patterns without accusation. It reveals where energy has been leaking, where effort has been misplaced, where the same lessons have been replayed under different names. Release begins internally before life responds. Decisions shift in silence. The body senses it, the mind resists it. This inner tension signals transition, crossing points always feel uncomfortable because identity is adjusting. What no longer fits begins to loosen its grip. January 3rd does not force endings. It presents choice. Continue carrying what is expired or set it down with awareness. Old commitments lose their authority here. Old fears lose their volume, yet only for those paying attention. New paths are not dramatic. They begin as small corrections, a pause instead of reaction, a refusal to repeat, a moment of clarity where confusion once lived. These subtle shifts decide direction long before results appear. This date also exposes distraction. Noise increases. Fatigue appears without reason. Motivation fluctuates. These are not weaknesses. They are indicators that movement is near. The mind attempts to protect the familiar even when it no longer serves growth. God allows this intersection to reveal alignment, not to judge, but to guide. Crossing into release requires less effort than staying in delay, yet delay feels safer because it is known. Those who recognize January 3rd as a turning point adjust inwardly. No announcement, no explanation. Momentum begins quietly. What follows feels lighter, clearer, and more focused. The crossing happens unseen, but its effects unfold steadily in the days ahead. Pay attention now. Spiritual distraction is rarely dramatic. It does not arrive as chaos. It arrives as normal routine, familiar thoughts. Привычные заботы. This is how divine messages are most often missed. When nothing feels urgent, awareness relaxes. When life feels ordinary, listening stops. Silence is misunderstood. Many assume God speaks only through emotion or crisis. Yet silence often carries instruction. Absence of noise allows truth to surface. When nothing unusual happens on the outside, something significant is often moving within. Distraction feeds on comfort. The mind drifts to habits. The heart postpones reflection. Days pass untouched. This is not failure. It is human nature. Yet divine timing does not pause for convenience. Messages are subtle for a reason. Loud signs remove responsibility. Quiet signals invite awareness. God does not interrupt life. He weaves through it. Those who listen feel a gentle pressure, not fear. A nudge, not force. Many overlook moments like January 3rd because nothing demands attention. No crisis, no celebration, just another day. Yet this is where awareness matters most. Divine instruction often hides in simplicity. The body senses it before the mind understands. Restlessness, sudden tiredness, a pull to slow down. These signals are easy to dismiss, yet they appear when alignment is being tested. Spiritual distraction also creates delay. Not punishment, delay through inattention. When messages are missed, lessons return louder later. Life repeats itself until awareness catches up. God's presence does not vanish in quiet moments. It refines itself. It waits. It observes response. Silence is not absence. It is space. Those who stay attentive during normal days move with less resistance later. Those who drift require stronger correction. Awareness now prevents struggle later. The quiet day carries the deepest instruction. Slow down. Regret does not arrive suddenly. It forms quietly, long before it is felt. It begins the moment a signal is noticed and dismissed, not rejected, just postponed. A small inner knowing set aside for later. Regret is often misunderstood as punishment. It is not. It is awareness arriving late. It is clarity, showing up after the moment passed. Nothing is taken away. The window simply moved. Signals are gentle by design. They respect free will. God does not force alignment. He invites it. Ignoring an invitation does not bring anger. It brings delay, and delay reshapes the path. Many recognize the signal only in hindsight. The day that felt ordinary, the thought that was brushed aside, the pause that was filled with noise. Later, life presents resistance, and the mind searches for reasons. Regret speaks in questions. Why was that ignored? Why was attention elsewhere? Why did it feel harder afterward? These questions are not meant to condemn. They are meant to teach. Delayed obedience creates heavier lessons, not harsher ones. Life repeats itself with more intensity until awareness deepens. What was once a whisper becomes pressure. What was once guidance becomes correction. This is why timing matters. Responding early requires less effort. Adjustment later demands more energy. The cost increases, not because God is strict, but because patterns harden over time. Regret also reveals value. One does not regret what held no meaning. Regret points to moments that mattered. It highlights dates that carried weight. It exposes decisions that shaped direction. God remains present even after delay. Grace does not disappear, yet momentum shifts. Paths lengthen, clarity requires more patience. Listening when the signal first appears preserves energy. It protects focus. It keeps movement light. Delayed obedience adds weight to the journey, not because the path changed, but because attention arrived late. Notice the pattern. Resistance does not appear without purpose. Around significant moments, energy shifts first. The body feels it. The mind reacts to it. Fatigue settles in without explanation. Focus scatters. Emotions feel heavier than usual. These experiences are not random interruptions. They are responses to change approaching. When movement is near, the familiar fights to remain. Old habits tighten their grip. The mind seeks distraction. Comfort calls louder. This resistance protects the known, even when the known no longer serves growth. Transition always creates tension before clarity arrives. Confusion often signals recalibration. The inner world adjusts before direction becomes clear. Thoughts overlap. Decisions feel delayed. This does not mean something is wrong. It means something is shifting beneath the surface. Emotional heaviness appears when identity loosens. Roles, expectations, and attachments begin to dissolve. The weight comes from holding what is expiring. Letting go feels unfamiliar, so the body resists before release occurs. These signs intensify around dates that matter. January 3rd carries this pressure because it presses alignment. The question is not why resistance appears. The question is whether awareness notices it. Many interpret resistance as a signal to stop. In truth, it often signals proximity. Growth rarely arrives without friction. Ease follows adjustment, not before it. God allows resistance to reveal readiness. It exposes where attention drifts under pressure. It highlights what still controls behavior. Awareness during resistance prevents unnecessary struggle later. Those who slow down during this heaviness gain clarity faster. Those who push through without listening exhaust themselves. Stillness becomes a strategy, not a weakness. Fatigue asks for rest, not escape. Confusion asks for pause, not avoidance. Emotional weight asks for release, not suppression. Responding wisely transforms resistance into guidance. These signs serve as markers along the path. They indicate that alignment is being negotiated. Movement is close. Awareness now determines whether the transition feels gentle or demanding. Understand this clearly. January 3rd is not a judgment of character. It does not measure goodness, effort, or belief. God does not weigh worthiness on a scale. Alignment is the focus. Positioning determines flow. Many confused struggle with failure. They assume resistance means rejection. In truth, resistance often reveals misalignment, not lack of value. A door may remain closed, not because one is unworthy, but because positioning is slightly off. God works through order. When alignment is correct, movement feels supported. When it is not, effort increases. This is not punishment, it is feedback. January 3rd brings this feedback into focus. Thoughts, habits, and priorities are revealed under subtle pressure. Where attention goes becomes clear. What drains energy stands exposed. What nourishes growth becomes obvious. Positioning is internal before it is external. It shows in how time is spent, in what receives focus, in which voices are followed. Alignment begins with awareness, not action. God does not demand perfection. He responds to direction. A small shift in attention often realigns the entire path. One honest pause can correct months of drift. Those aligned feel a quiet confirmation, not excitement. A sense of steadiness replaces urgency. Clarity settles in slowly. This is how alignment announces itself. Those misaligned feel friction, restlessness, a sense of pushing against something unseen. This is guidance, not condemnation. It invites adjustment, not shame. January 3rd exposes positioning because transitions require precision. Moving forward without alignment creates struggle. Waiting while realigning creates ease. God observes response, not performance. He watches whether awareness responds when signals appear. Alignment answers quietly. Disregard increases effort. This state reveals where one stands, not in value, but in direction. Adjustment remains possible. Awareness remains open. Positioning decides how smoothly the next season unfolds. Observe carefully. God is not watching for grand gestures on January 3rd. He is watching the quiet movements within, decisions formed in silence, focus revealed through attention, inner responses that never reach words. Small choices expose alignment more than dramatic promises. Where the mind returns during still moments, what receives energy when no one is watching. These details speak louder than intention. January 3rd magnifies the unseen. A brief pause instead of reaction, a moment of restraint instead of repetition, a decision to listen rather than fill space. These actions seem insignificant, yet they shape direction. Focus acts as a signal. Whatever holds attention expands. Distraction multiplies confusion. Presence sharpens clarity. God observes where awareness settles under pressure. This reveals readiness more clearly than effort. Inner response determines outcome. The same situation produces different paths based on reaction. Calm preserves momentum. Resistance creates delay. Stillness allows guidance to surface. On this date, small actions echo forward. One honest reflection prevents months of confusion. One quiet adjustment redirects energy. These moments rarely feel powerful when they occur. Their impact appears later. God respects free will. He does not override choice. He responds to it. Direction unfolds according to attention given. Many underestimate the weight of subtle decisions. They wait for clarity before acting. Yet clarity often follows movement. The willingness to pause, to listen, to adjust creates the space where guidance enters. January 3rd reveals habits under pressure. It exposes what feels automatic. These patterns indicate where awareness has been absent. Recognition is the first correction. God watches response, not outcome. He observes whether awareness rises when timing calls. Small actions reflect inner order. When order aligns, movement becomes lighter. This state does not demand perfection. It invites presence. Attention now determines how the following days unfold. Direction is set quietly, long before results become visible. Notice this truth. Those who listen do not seek recognition. They do not announce their awareness. No noise marks their movement. No one observes the adjustments made in silence, yet these are the ones who advance. Quietly, consistently, unseen momentum gathers around them. Blessings often begin where attention is humble. Growth does not always appear in spectacle. It appears in subtle shifts. A thought redirected, a habit released, a moment seized that others overlooked. These are the building blocks of progress, invisible at first, undeniable later. The world rewards noise, but timing rewards awareness. Those who respond without announcement align with the flow before it manifests. They enter doors others do not see. They cross thresholds without struggle. Their patience and attentiveness amplify opportunity. Silence is a form of discipline. Listening without distraction requires inner strength. Resisting the urge to seek validation preserves energy for alignment. Movement begins quietly because readiness begins inwardly. The mind, the spirit, the body, all must be synchronized before outward signs appear. Blessings grow quietly, like roots beneath the soil. They are nourished by small acts of alignment, gratitude, reflection, intentional focus. The universe, God's timing, rewards these actions without drawing attention to the process. Those who notice later often see the results as effortless, but they were forged in unseen attentiveness. Patience accompanies listening. Those who hurry announce themselves and risk misalignment. Those who remain aware, even when unnoticed, receive protection. clarity, and opportunity. Their journey unfolds with less resistance because preparation was internal, not external. January 3rd favors the quiet observer. Awareness over applause, presence over performance, response over reaction. Those who listen know the value of subtlety, of timing, and of readiness. Progress happens without spectacle, but its impact lasts far beyond what is visible. Momentum builds silently. Opportunity converges unseen. Those who listen move forward while the world remains unaware, and blessings grow steadily where attention was given. Understand this clearly. Ignoring January 3rd does not erase God's plan. Faithfulness remains. The promise still exists. The opportunity still waits. Yet timing is precise, and attention determines when it unfolds. Delay is the result of missed awareness, not absence of intention. God does not abandon. He does not forget. What is set in motion remains set, but the flow responds to response. When attention falters, timing adjusts. Windows remain open only as long as readiness persists. The moment may not return in the same form. What appears later often requires more effort to align with, simply because the natural timing was missed. Many assume that ignoring a date has no consequence because life seems to continue. Yet spiritual momentum is subtle. The unseen energy shifts in response to inattention. Progress stalls quietly. Paths that would have opened immediately now require adjustment. Opportunities that once seemed effortless demand focus. The work remains, but the ease is delayed. Faithfulness does not guarantee immediacy. It guarantees eventual alignment for those willing to respond. The divine plan is constant, but the pace responds to awareness. Timing is not rigid, it is relational. God moves in accordance with the preparedness of the heart. Delay is a signal, not punishment. It calls attention back to alignment. Those who ignore subtle signals may feel life heavier afterward. Challenges appear more pronounced. Lessons repeat with intensity until awareness rises. Delay serves as a teacher, reinforcing the importance of presence. Yet those who notice, even belatedly, can realign and step back into flow. God remains faithful. Doors may not close permanently, but they respond differently to attention. The universe adjusts to readiness, not desire alone. January 3rd emphasizes this principle. Missing it does not destroy the plan. It only reshapes timing, deepens the lesson, and demands renewed focus for the blessings already promised. Awareness restores flow. Delay reminds of its value. The invitation remains. January 3rd is not a warning that closes doors. It is a call that continues to reach the attentive heart. Awareness is the key. Even late recognition restores alignment. Protection and opportunity respond to those who choose presence, even after distraction or delay. Awareness activates protection. When the mind notices, when attention rests on the signals, subtle forces shift. Obstacles that seemed immovable begin to ease. Guidance appears in unexpected ways. The unseen moves quietly, reinforcing the path. Safety, clarity, and direction are not earned. They are activated through attentiveness. Listening opens doors, not loud doors, not doors announced with fanfare. Doors that matter respond only to readiness. One thoughtful pause, one deliberate reflection, one honest choice to engage with the day's energy opens access to blessings that otherwise remain hidden. These doors are subtle but decisive. They shape months ahead. God's call is patient. The signal continues until the path is recognized. It does not shout in desperation. It nudges in wisdom. Each moment of attention strengthens connection. Each moment of distraction softens the effect of timing, but does not erase it. Many wait for dramatic signs, yet January 3rd works quietly. The day tests awareness more than action. Every decision made in alignment, every resistance faced with calm, every inner adjustment strengthens protection and opens passage. This is the principle of divine invitation. Presence matters more than performance. Those who respond now, even quietly, experience subtle shifts. Energy aligns. Opportunities appear with gentle insistence. Guidance becomes perceptible. The day transforms from ordinary into pivotal. The invitation still stands. Listening transforms perception. Awareness shapes experience. Doors open where the inattentive see nothing. Protection arrives where the distracted feel vulnerability. Timing and readiness converge for those who choose to notice. The moment remains alive, waiting for response, carrying potential far beyond what can be seen. Treating January 3rd as just another day comes at a cost. Missed clarity leaves decisions clouded. Extended waiting stretches opportunities into frustration. Struggle arises not from fate, but from avoidable inattention. Every ignored signal carries weight, and every delayed choice shapes the path ahead. The gift of this day is simple: awareness. The cost of ignoring it is unnecessary struggle. Protect focus. Honor the signals. Align with the timing God has placed. Small moments of attention now prevent larger hardships later. If this message spoke to your spirit, like the video and subscribe to Shaolin Divine Flow. Walk this path of awareness with us, where timing is honored, guidance is visible to those who watch, and blessings move quietly but powerfully. Remember, January 3rd is not ordinary. It carries purpose, it tests alignment, and it offers a chance to step into flow. Those who listen quietly today will find doors opening tomorrow. Presence is power. Awareness is protection, and your next step can change everything.